Welcome, Chosen One.
Hey guys, welcome to the Ace of Plays channel. In today's video I'm doing some post commentary from a couple of games that I just played. I played for about an hour 15 minutes, just trying to grind up. I did manage to get up to rank 8, completely without your help, okay? But all jokes aside, thank you so much to the people joining the chat in all my streams, helping me, guiding me, allowing me to actually rank up. It feels good to be back in single digit ranks, so thank you so much. And just thank you for making it such an enjoyable experience. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. That's the plan, at least going forward. 12 p.m. Norwegian time, so check your time zones. Stream for about 2.5 hours, give or take half an hour, depending on how things are going. But as you can see on the screen in front of you, we're playing some Ardal. This is my Ardal Assimilate deck. I took Shinmiri's Ardal Assimilate deck. I changed enough cards that I feel I can call it my own. Deck list will of course appear on screen as usual between games and, you know, during mulligans. Initial mulligans. I'm not going to bother putting it up in the mid-round mulligans. But yeah, for our first game we're playing against Svalbard, and the reason I want to show this match is because, first of all, it was a pretty funny match. Like, I had a great time, as I usually do with Assimilate. But actually, Svalbard is probably my favorite matchup when I'm playing Assimilate, simply because, you know, like Skellige in general has a lot of good cards for you to assimilate, but Svalbard in particular, like they have engines, like Duchess's Informant can take so many good cards from their side. Bribery gets like Olaf and Wildkarl, and like they have enough synergy in their deck that as long as you have a little bit of Assimilate cards, you can get their combos off. And I actually get one of their 3-card combos going in, I think, the 3rd round of this game, so I look forward to that. But yeah, so the game starts out pretty standardly. He's avoiding my pikeman, which is pretty good. He's, you know, starting to set up his longship and protector combo. I'm not too worried about it, especially with Duchess's Informant. Very important thing when you're playing this deck, and pretty much any deck that contains a decent amount of spying units, you can disrupt Skellige very often with some of these cards. Like Protector and Longship, I could just put a spy in between there and that combo would be turned off. It's not that big of a threat, so I don't know if I actually decide to do that. Like I said, I played for about over an hour, and it's pretty hard to remember all of these games, but hopefully I'll remember something. But yeah, I'm just going to create one of those cards. What is it called? Primal Savagery. It's a pretty decent card. I had a target for it, so I might as well use it. But yeah, like I said, Svalbard, probably my favorite matchup when playing Assimilate, just because they have so many good cards to steal. It's so great, and Assimilate has quickly become my favorite archetype in probably any card game. And you know, I've been pretty deep into Magic, the Pokemon trading card game, Elder Scrolls Legends, and now Gwent. And Assimilate, Nilfgaard is just, it's probably the most fun that I have had in any of these games. So great job to the Gwent developers for creating such a fun archetype. I hope it never gets broken and OP, and I also hope it never gets bad and terrible. Like, just, if this could just stay a playable but not oppressive archetype, so it's just something I can always turn to when I want to have fun, that would be great. That would be fantastic. So yeah, our Nausicaa Sergeants are getting pretty big. Very good cards in this deck, as a lot of our cards do have deploy effects. Our spies have deploy effects, and a lot of the cards we can copy with Duchess's Informant will have deploy effects, so that's like kind of a 2-of. But he had a Geralt of Rivia, which is perfectly fine to get out of him now, especially because we're still doing pretty well on points. Our engines, in most games in my experience, our engines can actually get pretty big. And this deck has two main ways of establishing a huge engine presence really quickly. One of those is Portal, and the other one being Operator. We use Operator on Imperial Diviner or Ducal Guard. Since we're summoning and not playing, like the deploy effect of the Diviner doesn't really matter. But of course you want to keep the Ducal Guards in the deck for Portal. But yeah, Operator on a Diviner or a Guard, and then after we're done copying our opponent's Assimilate unit with any informants we might have, we seize it with Ardal. It's pretty good. It's a similar strategy that you play in spy decks where you Operator a Imperial Enforcer and then steal it. Of course, the problem with that card is that if you don't steal it right away, like if you want to copy it with informants, your opponent gets to use the 2 ping. In this case, the card that you're giving them, most of the time they can't do shit with it. And it's completely safe to leave it on the board for a few turns, so you can copy it a little bit and then steal it right back. Now I actually bricked my Portal, so it's only going to pull 1 Ducal Guard. But it's not that big of an issue. Like if this had been like round 1, when we also wanted the thinning real bad, that would have been a little bit worse. But now it's a shame that we have to play 2 low tempo cards. But it's fine. So here our opponent is establishing a pretty solid engine. Of course we're going to sabotage that a little bit. Use Roderick to get Operator. And in this case it actually paid off to have one of the cards in hand so we can use it with Operator, because I have no Imperial Diviners. So this actually worked out pretty well. And I'm going to hold off on the Seize just for a little bit. Because these cards do nothing for the opponent, it's a lot safer to just leave them out for a little bit, just to see if maybe something more demanding of attention comes around. But here I am going to steal it, because I am going to Hengaith the Roderick, put it right back, just to add an extra turn delay before that Svalbard Priest hits ya boy, Blue by Lugos. And here begins my own little Skellige engine. We're going to steal that Protector. That doesn't do much in and of itself, but hey, it's going to get fun. So he seizes one of our engines. I guess that's karma. I guess that's what you get. And I'm just going to play this Ducal Guard down, because we're about to do quite a bit of assimilating. I'm constantly surprised at how consistently I get a fair bit of Assimilate triggering cards. This deck turned out to be a lot more consistent than I originally dared to hope for, but it was really good. And of course here we're going to get the Informant. We're going to steal the Svalbard Priest for ourselves. We're going to steal the Svalbard Priest for ourselves. I know that's what's going to happen. Don't tease me past me. Yeah, we're going to take that. I kind of messed up my placement there. I should have placed Artorias Vigo on the left side, to get an extra tick here off the Protector. But it ends up working in my favor. So our opponent plays down Velkarl and just goes for the immediate trigger on it. I'm hovering Bribery because I see that if I manage to create my own Velkarl right now, I have enough turns to trigger it, but we don't get it. Now I check my graveyard. I have a pretty good Hjalmar target. I definitely do. It would be a 10-point play. It would be great. But this is just too funny. So there you go. I'm playing Nilfgaard, but I have a Protector next to a Blue by Lugos that's being pinged by Svalbard Priest. This is the beauty of Assimilate. This is the good stuff. This is why you watch this channel, because occasionally I upload good content like this. I hope you consider this good content. So I believe I go for a little bit of a high roll experiment here. Imperial Diplomacy for a Gutting Slash. Now I gotta say, like no joke, I get Gutting Slash off of Imperial Diplomacy, I think too much. Like I see that card way too often. Like that was barely even a high roll for me because I always get that card. And we even had the Bloodthirst, so let's kill that all off. And yeah. The thing about using Operator on one of our 4-strength engines, if we don't end up seizing it with Ardal, it's like a decent last resort for turning Shelmar, because you can deal 4 damage to it, and it's an 8 for 9. It's not very good, and of course in this case it would have been worth more points just to place it on the range row and get, you know, +2 boost for each Skellige unit on our board. We had a few. And we're just going to jump into the second game, which was also a match against Skellige. Crack and Crate this time, bit of more control-y deck. And yeah, we're going to see how that went for your boy. You'll have to excuse the cut in music. I was listening to Spotify while I was playing, just because I've gotten into a habit of doing that when I'm streaming. I listen to Witcher music on Spotify. And I didn't even think that it was being recorded. It saves me work in editing, because now I don't have to add music. But there was that little jump cut there that I usually don't have in my videos. But I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be alright. So yeah, like I said, Crack and Crate is our opponent this time around. Let's see what he's got. I really enjoy doing these post-commentary videos because I can talk a lot more. You know, it turns out that I actually have a lot to say. It's just that when I have to sit and focus on playing a game, it's a little bit hard to focus. But yeah, this opponent starts off with a Summoning Circle, which is definitely interesting. I'm just going to start pinging down that Roach. So looking at our hand here, it's a little chunky. I don't know why, I look at this hand and it feels chunky, but we do have Portal, which is always good. And with one Nausicaa in hand, we're definitely going to get one Ducal Guard, which is going to work really well with all of the Assimilate triggers we have in our hand. So Herald Houndsnot is actually a pretty good counter to Alba Pikeman, because you put a lot of targets on the melee row that can soak up the pings and dish it right back even harder. Excuse me. I'm doing laundry. I'm washing our curtains. Orders from the missus. But yeah, so our opponent is actually doing a pretty solid job of just keeping us in check here. And this next play, I actually... It was rough to be on the receiving end of this, but it was actually kind of funny. And especially now looking back at it, it's pretty funny. Because he uses Summoning Circle to get a Demon Pirate Captain. That's fine. And I think he's going to kill the Ducal Guard because he pings it and sets it up. But no. That's what the other Pirate Captain is for. So yeah. Our opponent really has us on the back end here. Taking care of all of our engines. Like the only thing that went in our favor this time, this turn, was that he had to put 2 units on the melee row. So increasing our odds of actually getting pikeman value, but like, we're too far behind, so I'm taking the pass here. It's definitely kind of an early pass, but sometimes you just have to do it. And we do get Operator, which is really, really great. Because like I said, we have 2 main ways of establishing multiple engines in one turn. Portal, and then Operator plus Ardal Seas. And it's really nice to have one for round 1, and then one for round 3. That's always nice. Of course, there have been cases where I've had both in round 3. Oh boy. Those games, have been really fun. By the way, guys, I just want to quickly mention, I'm not going to be pushing this in your face, but I have activated channel memberships on my channel, so if you want to support the channel, you can do that. You can get some nice little rewards. I learned from my Patreon mistakes. I'm not overcommitting to this. Like, the rewards are definitely smaller in scale, but they're really neat, and they're a lot more manageable for me to actually provide for you. And like, you'll get, like, because it's a YouTube channel membership, you'll get custom emojis that you can use on YouTube, you know, having to do with your boy. And there will be custom badges to show like how long you've been supporting. I haven't made those yet, but it's fine, right? But yeah, like, just wanted to put that out there. So, because I know some of you actually want to support me, and yeah, this Geralt was a 2-point play, but it was still enough thanks to Assimilate, and we got Geralt out of him without him having to play it. It was beautiful. But yeah, like, just small rewards like unique Discord title, Ace's Companion, Twitter shout out and follow, sort of a closed PTR kind of thing. If I want to test new types of content, you know, I'll do it with members, and you also get, you know, members only posts on YouTube and polls where you can vote on stuff, and you know, read a little bit about, you know, what's going on behind the scenes, what I'm planning for the future. But yeah, like, enough pushing that. I don't want to push this too hard. If you want to support the channel, that is now the best way to do it. I'll just leave it at that. So our opponent is playing Svalbard Totem. Now, there's definitely an argument to just immediately start playing spies next to it, but most people, especially most people who know what they're doing, know the decks they're playing, they definitely tend to save their totem, because while these guys aren't berserked, they can soak up damage. So it's almost like they're not immune, and like, it's not like it's a no unit deck, but it kind of serves the same purpose. And also, a lot of the time they have like Olaf or Wildkarls that they want to trigger with the totem instead of these abomination guys. But yeah, playing against a crack control list, you're bound to lose some engines. And because control in Gwent is so goddamn strong, it's not like your opponent has to suffer the consequences of playing control. But yeah. We're gonna Hengate Roderick again, just for the single extra point of Assimilate on the Diviner. This deck very reliably plays usually all the gold cards, and maybe there's like one gold card left in the deck. But Roderick is extremely consistent in this deck, and like, definitely, especially in round 3 after you've already, you know, drawn and mulliganed a bit, I'm usually able to get exactly what I want with him every time. So Roderick feels really good in this deck. And then we get, not Cleaver, but Carlo Varese. Varese? And we're not getting too good of options right here. I don't want to play the Disgraced Brawler because of all the pings he has access to. He can easily get those extra 3 points of triggering its Berserk. So I take the Smuggler Man just to beef up my Vigo by 1 point. But I'm pretty sure he gets muzzled, right? If I remember correctly. My poor boy. He's gonna get massacred. But I hope I don't look too tired. I'm not tired, but I think I'm squinting a lot. I don't know why. I'm sorry. Just focus on the beard, okay? Just look at the beard. There's the muzzle. Look at the beard. This beard is gonna get only more and more glorious. By the way, one of the custom emotes for channel members. It's called Glorious, and it's a huge beard. And also sunglasses. It's really cool. I'm really happy with that one. I didn't make it, but happy with it. Happy. So again, not the best options. So far, it's not really looking good for me. So definitely the reason Svalbard is significantly more favorable, in my opinion, than Kraken Crate is because of the units he actually places on the board. Because he makes Duchess's Informant so good. She's not very good here. But I do manage to do what he did, basically. And here I end up making a mistake here. I put the bleed on Vigo. I should not have done that. I should have put it on probably the 5 strength Abomination. So I could have seized it with Swears, because it's obvious that, you know, we're gonna have to play Turning Shalmar on the range row, and we need to be able to seize preferably a Skellige unit with Swears, and also preferably, you know, we want full value, because we're not stealing an engine, so we want to get full value from the points on the board. But here, Triss actually creates a Primal Savagery for us, which actually works out pretty well, because we get to kill this unit and get a Skellige unit on our side. We are catching up, but we are 1 point behind. 2 points behind. But he has the double bleed as well. And here puts down Udalric, which actually, it kind of saves me in the sense that that's a 3 strength Skellige unit that I can seize. He does get to do the pings by himself, but we still get a 9-point play that sets up Turning Shalmar a little bit better. So that's definitely very good. So the Dim and Light Longship, not the biggest play. Turning Shalmar, on the other hand, pretty big play. And as you will see, this was a very close game. I really enjoy games like this where it's so close. And our opponent had a big finishing play. It was fairly big, and we only win by 1 point. So I think if he had drawn like Yalmaran Crate or something like that, that would have been a little bit bigger. Actually, he could have taken Champion of Svalbard, so it would have been a lot bigger, and he would have won. But we managed to pull through with 1 point to spare. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. There will not be another game, even though the screen is showing. There you go. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a great time grinding a little bit with Ardal Assimilate. I highly recommend you try this deck out. If you have access to these cards, if you like Nilfgaard, I highly recommend this. This is the best archetype ever. It has definitely superseded Thrive as my favorite mechanic and my favorite archetype. And just because Nilfgaard has Assimilate, Nilfgaard is definitely not my favorite, because that's Skellige. Gameplay wise, I really like Syndicate. Okay, I don't have that tier list, but it's definitely high up there. Probably top 3, which it didn't used to be. They have fallen from grace since closed beta. But thanks again. I will stop rambling. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good one, guys, and I will see you next time.